Hello and welcome back to the channel on our continuing voyage to become better blues players. My name's Mark, and in this lesson we're going to look at playing over a slightly different chord progression than usual. We're going to be playing 9 blues licks over a chord progression that is an A minor, then a bar of G, then a bar of F, and then a bar of E7. Okay, and this is a really common chord progression that we might find ourselves playing over. It's used in songs like Hit the Road Jack by Ray Charles. It's actually such a famous chord progression that it's got its own name. It's called the Andalusian Cadence. So we're going to call this lesson the Andalusian Blues. Okay, so the way the lesson's going to work, you're going to hear me play an example solo playing 9 blues licks over that chord progression. The chord progression loops around 3 times, and I take a slightly different approach each time. And then we come back on the other side and I teach you all the licks one by one. Okay, so you're about to hear the example solo. And the first time through, I just play regular 12-bar blues, A minor pentatonic, not really caring much about the chord progression, just playing A minor pentatonic blues licks. Second time through, I repeat a blues lick 3 times, and then on the 4th time, I'm actually going to target the note of E, because by that time, the chord progressions hit the chord of E, so I'm going to emphasize that by targeting that E note. Then the 3rd time through is going to get more complex, because I'm going to play a melody that targets the notes of the underlying chords. Okay, so when it's over the A minor chord, I'm going to pick one of the notes that makes up the chord of A minor. When it's over the G chord, I'm going to pick one of the notes from within the chord of G. F, one of the notes from F. And then when we get to the E7 chord, I'm actually going to play an E arpeggio. Okay, so we're going to hear the example now. So listen out for that. First time through, straight A minor pentatonic blues licks. Second time through, A minor pentatonic blues licks, but targeting that E note at the end. Third time through, actually playing notes from the underlying chords. Okay, so here's the example, and we'll come back on the other side and I'll teach you the licks one by one. Okay, so that was the example there, and what we'll do now is pull those licks apart and talk about them one by one. But first of all, a little bit of housekeeping as usual. Big thank you for the Patreon supporters who pay for the camera, the lights and the tab and everything else and keep the channel going. Honestly, really fantastic, couldn't do it without you. The tab is available for this lesson today, paid for by the Patreon supporters. If you'd like a copy of the tab, it's completely free. Drop me an email, my details are in the description below, and next time I'm online I'll just reply to your email and attach the tab to it. There is a backing track as well, see the description below for details of that. If you'd like to buy me a coffee or a beer or to say thank you for the lesson, I have a PayPal tip jar as well, and again details of that are in the description below. Also, as usual, please do hit like and subscribe because that actually helps me grow the channel. Okay, housekeeping out of the way, let's get on with these licks. So this is a chord progression. You can find this in any key. You basically start with a minor chord, go down a whole tone, play a major chord, whole tone again, play another major chord, and then half a tone and play a major chord or a dominant 7 chord. So we're in the key of A minor, so we're going to go A minor. Down a whole tone, we get a G. Down a whole tone again, we get an F. Down half a tone, we get an E7. So it's called Andalusian Cadence because we're basically moving from our 1 chord to a 5 chord. The 1 chord being the A minor, the 5 chord being the the E7, and we're just doing that by walking down. Okay, so let's get on with the licks. Remember, first time through this chord progression is going to be licks 1, 2, and 3, and they're just going to use the A minor pentatonic scale. So lick 1 goes like this: 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I'll do it nice and slow. 1, 2, 3. Only tricky thing about this is how it starts. So it comes in on the preceding bar, comes in on beat 4, so you're going to hear the count 1, 2, 3, and then we're in. When we come in, we've already bent this 7th fret G string up a whole tone. We're going to hit it and lower it to pitch. Okay, so that goes like this: 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then as soon as we get there, we're going to pull off to 5 and then hit 7 on the D string. And we're going to do that as kind of one fluid movement, not as 3 individual notes or 4 individual notes. It's not this. Okay, we're going to do it as one continuous flow of movement. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then after that, it's just straight A minor pentatonic, box position 1 and box position 2. Okay, so that was lick 1, that's over the A minor chord. Lick 2 is over the G7 chord, and that goes like this. And nice and slow. Lick 3 then goes like this: 1, 2, 3. And nice and slow: 1, 2, 3. Again, nothing tricky in there, just A minor pentatonic box positions 1 sliding into box position 2. Notice with all of these licks, I'm really targeting this A note here. This is like the note that I'm really focusing on. Root note, 10th fret, B string. Because it's an A, we're in the key of A, so it's always going to sound great. Okay, and then lick 3 then. Sorry, that was lick 3. So let's do lick 1, 2, and 3 all together. So this goes over the whole chord progression. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so just straight A minor pentatonic. Okay, lick 4 is the same phrase repeated 3 times, and the phrase goes like this. Okay, so 3 times will go like this: 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we hear that phrase over the A minor chord, then we hear it again over the G chord, then we hear it again over the F chord. And each time it kind of sounds a little different because the context has changed, but it's actually just the same lick. Okay, so I'll do it nice and slow now. I'll just do it, I'll do it nice and slow. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and we'll call each of those repeats 4A, 4B, and 4C. It's just the same thing 3 times. Just box position 2 of the A minor pentatonic, nothing fancy. Then we're into, where are we? Lick 5. Then goes like this. We're now over the E7 chord. So we're going to target this E note here, which is 9th fret of the G string. And we're going to do that by going like this. Nice and slow. Notice we're still just in box position 2 of A minor pentatonic. It's just that we're really targeting this note. When we're playing this one, 8th fret of the B string, pulling that dirty. If you follow my lessons, you know I like to do little dirty bends. That's one of those dirty bends. Okay, so lick 4 and 5 together. So this is over the whole chord progression again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that was the second time through. just straight A minor pentatonic repeating lick, but then targeting the E at the end. Okay, so now we're going a little bit more complicated. We're going to go through it again. This is going to be lick 7, 8, and 9. Well, actually just lick 7 and 8 for now. We're going to go through the chord progression again, but each time I'm going to target a different note. So over the A chord, I'm going to target this note here, because that's an A, so it's going to sound nice over an an A minor chord. Then when it moves to the G chord, I'm going to target a B, because B is one of the notes that makes up the chord of G. Then when the chord progression goes down to an F, I'm going to target this note here, a C. And then that's going to be lick 7 and lick 8. So that's lick 7 into lick 8, and lick 8 finishes with an E7 arpeggio, or no, just an E arpeggio, to really emphasize the fact that we've landed on that E note. Okay, so put them together. Here's lick 7, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3. Actually, I made a mistake. It's lick 6. Okay, so 6, 7, and 8 are over this chord progression. So lick 6 is over the A minor chord that goes like this. Nice and slow. Again, A minor pentatonic, box position 2, nothing fancy. Then when we get to lick 7, this is now over the G chord, and that goes like this. Okay, and then we get lick 8, and that's going to go like this. And then it ends with this arpeggio. Okay, so lick 6, nice and slow. Lick 7, nice and slow. Lick 8, nice and slow. Okay, I'll do them all 6, 7, and 8 together. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and if you get the tab, you can see it on screen, or you can actually get the tab and print it out and see yourself exactly what those notes are. But the important thing is we're stepping out of the A minor pentatonic. This note here, this B that we're bending to here, that's not in the scale of A minor pentatonic. It's in the scale of A minor, but it's not in the scale of A minor pentatonic, and it is in the underlying chord of the G. Then when we hit the F chord, I'm targeting the note of C. Okay, and then we end with that arpeggio. And then finally the whole solo ends because I threw in this little lick at the end. This is lick 9. We're back over the A minor pentatonic scale, the A minor chord. We're going to go back to our A minor pentatonic scale and just play this. Nice and slow. Nice and slow again. Just back to box position 1. Okay, so that was all the licks. Now, quick thing about this Andalusian cadence, if there's tons and tons of videos on YouTube about this. There's Wikipedia pages, there's tons of websites and stuff which talk about it, because it's a really common chord progression. But a lot of the theory that if you look into it, that will tell you is that you can't just use the A minor scale, that when you get to that E7 chord, you have to use harmonic minor, or you have to do something different, that it doesn't work because E7 has G sharp in it, and G sharp isn't in A minor pentatonic, and all those kind of things. Don't worry about that. If we're playing blues, we can get away with playing this G note here over the E chord. We can do that and pull it dirty, and it sounds nice and bluesy, and it's fine. We don't have to think, oh, I suddenly have to learn the A harmonic minor scale because that's the correct scale to play over this. If we're playing classical music, if we're playing pop music, if we're playing certain styles of rock music and things, yes, you have to use the correct scale. But for blues, it sounds really nice and dirty and bluesy when we use those pentatonic scales, when we don't play the harmonic minor, when we play that G natural, because that's going to be our minor third, and it gets that bluesy sound. So anyway, that's the chord progression, that's the scale, that's the licks. 3 different approaches. You can play just straight blues and not worry about the chord progressions. You can play straight blues, but then just treat that E chord a little different to let the listener know, hey, I know what I'm doing here. Or you can actually target notes deliberately from the underlying chord progression and make interesting melodies. So that was the way I approached it. As I say, tab available, backing track available. Hope you enjoyed this lesson. Take care. I'll see you again.